something I remember, something I remember when the gang stalking was happening is that when I came out of the apartment complex, all of a sudden there was this. I think it was either an Impala. It was either an Impala or one of those Chevy cars. But I'm just going right here. It was okay. So it was kind of snowy and icy out here. I ended up on that side, and on the other side, you see there's a trash can right there, about where that SUV is parked. I had slipped one, but I held my baby up, and he didn't get hurt. But guess what? When there was these black men that pulled up, and they had that same white powdery stuff. Those black men had that same white powdery stuff in the back of their car, and I saw it, and I was like, "What is this?" And they had a towel, so I know that they were the ones who threw that white shit on the fucking. It just dawned on me. I was getting ready to take my ass and go somewhere, and then all of a sudden, when I opened the trunk, I remembered that I wasn't crazy. That these motherfuckers was following me around and fucking with me. Because how could you have the same white powdery shit in the back of your fucking car that was on the stroller all of a sudden when I turned my back in this particular Denny's right here? How the fuck does that happen? Then I went to go ask the bitch, can I use a shirt? Because I know I didn't have no jacket on out here. The bitch turned me down. It was a shirt that was hanging up about at the cash register where this woman is working. I don't want a shirt to keep their privacy, because I don't want to stand there too long, because I want to be like, what the hell is she doing? But I remember this very clearly now, and I remember those men had a woman on the phone in the car, and they said, "Are you sure you?" They were watching me already. They pulled up. They knew I was looking for help. They came to motherfucking, and somebody got shot over here one night. Not too long ago, and the car came out with the lights off, and they pulled out. I minded my motherfucking business, but this is not the first time I done seen some shit happen. So I didn't get no license plate or nothing, because I said maybe they went to go get a motherfucker that did some shit that they ain't had to do. It ain't had nothing to do with me. I went there to see it, so it wasn't for me to see it. But what I did see is after we heard the gunshot, because my homegirl was with me at the time, but we ain't homegirls right now, no more. But at that time, we was homegirls. She heard a gunshot, and the motherfucker came in this very alley, and we was parked on the side of the street over there, and they came out right here, and then took a left, and they had their lights off, and they just rolled out real smooth. They stopped right here real quick to see if I might have known anything, but I already peeped what they was doing, so I was like, I'm minding my motherfucking business. But before that even happened, now I know for a fact that I'm not crazy now. These motherfuckers was fucking with me. I was being spiritually attacked, and it was an old man. It was two black men, might I add, and all of a sudden after that encounter, more black men was following me. I mean, not more black men was following me. It was only black men that were following me, trying to traffic me. So when I noticed something on the car, the window on the passenger side was knocked off, but it was a new car. So I was like, something ain't right about this car. So some of those cars that y'all see that look brand new, but it's fucked up on the road, some of those motherfuckers are the people who are doing the motherfucking trafficking, and they're doing the gang stalking and watching motherfuckers. Like she was talking about with the cars that's got the fucked up. Spiritual advisor was talking about cars having the fucked up bumper and shit, and all of a sudden, after for a good while, that I ain't seen nothing but fucked up bumper car. All of a sudden, and guess what, y'all? For the past couple months, I have not seen not one car with a fucked up bumper on it. But for all of a sudden, for a period of time, there was cars driving around the city with fucked up bumpers, and the police ain't really fucking with people no more anymore as they used to, because they're doing it on a wide scale. There's people gang stalking, and I feel like they kind of know some of this shit that's going on. That's why they ain't really cracking down on certain cars anymore when they have fucked up lights and the car's all fucked up. They ain't got not a working blinker, the whole light busted out in the front. Everybody riding around with unsafe looking ass cars. That shit is crazy. Now I know I ain't crazy, and God protected me, man. So anyways, back to the story. After that, so the reason why these men was trying to hurry up and get me in their car with my son, but I had this strange feeling. I was trying to feel them out, because I know I was still going crazy, but something wasn't right about their spirit. So what I did, I sat in the car for a moment, but my son, he was still, I don't know if I had the stroller. No, I don't think I had the stroller. No, I didn't have the stroller. I was holding him. They came and they pulled around right after that shit happened. and they came and parked right there. And they said, "You want us to take you to the hospital?" I said, "No, I'm okay." And then at first I was saying, "Yeah, I was gonna let them take me to the hospital." But then they was feeling off. So when they wanted to open the car door, and for some reason, even though I was going kind of crazy because of the harassing that was happening at the Louisa Flower Apartments, and now the people that real estate company moved out of there, and they're no longer part. And some of the people, one of the dudes, Deontay was one of the managers. They fired him or got rid of him, but all of a sudden he showed up on the property again one day, and he was in the elevator with the other people, and I saw suspicious that they were going to certain apartments. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, they were doing their job, of course, at times, but then there was one particular day I took a video of it. I won't be surprised if they had something to do with the orchestration of my shit being fucking stolen and me leaving it out, like the voices and shit that was happening, because it's like it got louder when I got in the Denny's. I know that makes me sound crazy when I say that shit, but I'm trying to paint a picture here so y'all can see that sometimes people are being fucked with, and that's why everything went through the DHS system, and they'll tell you themselves because they have the documentation. I was cooperative. I followed through with everything I was supposed to do. If a motherfucker is that fucked up, I wasn't even taking my pills at one point, and I was still doing good. So that means I was just I had a moment where my reality and the spiritual realm, they was like merging, and shit was getting all fucked up. Like it was people attacking me spiritually and physically. And so I'm gonna finish the story how I'm saying this though. Why I know that I was being gang stalked, and somebody's orchestrated it for me to get my son taken from me, and for them to document and say that this bitch is crazy. But they even said it was just a temporary psychosis. I don't show any signs of having a long-term effect of having some fucked up mental disability, a mental illness like being schizophrenic or being just crazy, like, and incapable of raising my child. They said in 20 years they haven't seen any parent perform the way I perform, and I got my kid back. Even before they dismissed the case, they said, forget trying to watch her, we already know she gonna do good. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that white powdery shit that was on the stroller that alarmed me, that I thought was harming my son, they said he wasn't harmed though. But I felt some burning sensation. That's why I left my phones. I said, this shit ain't worth our life. Leave that shit behind. So I just left it on the stroller, and that's how it was still there. But when I got outside, it was orchestrated where these men were all of a sudden already there saying that we're going to take you to the hospital. But guess what? I noticed what made me not get in their car is the fact I sat down. I was also thinking that they could, because I saw the right side, the passenger side mirror was knocked off. So that's what gave me a feeling that these motherfuckers might be traffickers, because there's certain videos that I had watched in the past, and there's shit that I seen where it said they do little shit to mark certain cars so that people can know that that's a car that's being trafficked, or that's a mark, basically, so to speak, that they can go get that motherfucker. So after I left, that shit happened in Denny's where the white stuff was on the stroller. But after that happened, I already went back to my house. But I was being harassed in there, and I later go in the video how I was being harassed in another video because I need to save time. I got someone waiting for me so we can go. But excuse me. I remember when I came back outside, because it sounded like somebody was in my apartment jerking the fucking door. And I told the DHS woman that it was a big ass footprint in there, and it didn't look like it was my footprint. But I could have been crazy at that part and made it no. But when I came back to the door, the reason why I left and didn't go back in there instead of leaving the stroller in the hallway is because something or someone was jerking the fucking door. And guess what? How I know that there ain't gonna be no proof on cameras, because even the security officers was watching me when I was freaking out, and they said, that's some unusual behavior for her. Because I had conversed with one security officer who was working here, and he was telling me about sex trafficking. He was telling me about it. Why would a security officer one day just have a conversation with me? That's probably why they got rid of his ass. He gave me a fucking clue. Because I was a cool ass nigga. Motherfuckers just talked to me. I was a cool ass bitch. Ain't nobody had no problem. They all of a sudden I noticed a lot of the people they sent to me, them motherfuckers was starting to befriend me and tell me what was up indirectly. And I figured that shit out. I already knew. That's how I said later on, I'm going to remember this shit and I'm going to be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together of what was happening. Now they had this motherfucker come over here and try to pick me up. And I already was having the thoughts in my mind. I had to make sure it was still recording because at one point when they was fucking with my electronics, all of a sudden shit would just turn off. And I know I had storage space left. But maybe that was God's doing, though, because God has the ultimate power and the control over everything. So, anyways, them motherfuckers brought dirty looking ass. They was dressed up like pimps, too. They was too well dressed. I'm like, where these niggas coming from? One older man with one of those berets and had a brown beret. He was wearing a brown long trench coat. And I know that motherfucker was a Mason because it was all in his spirit. I know he was. But he had this black man with him too. And they had this woman on the phone listening in the background. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? This don't seem right. It's because they was trying to, it's like they interject was like, come on and get in the car. That's how they luring some of these people in. But for some was just saying no. And guess what? They got mad when I said no because I looked on the floor. I was like, this looked like the same shit that was on the stroller. Some white powdery shit. I don't know what the fuck. It probably was that whatever. It might have been some witchcraft shit. I don't know. But whatever it was a sign that something wasn't right. And I got out of the car. I sat down for a moment with my legs out because them niggas, they would have had to fight. And them 4 officers, both times that I had a problem with, both times that I had an encounter with cops and when it was 4 officers trying to get me in the car and they struggled like a motherfucker, I know those 2 men was not going to have it easy unless they had a gun. And even then, it still was going to be a challenge because I'm not finna just let you kill me. I'm going to put up a fight. I'm going to fight for my life. I'm not going to kill myself. That's why it kind of got me on one of those videos when the officers was saying she said she was going to kill herself. Yeah, right, nigga, please. Lying ass, unprofessional, unethical officers wearing fucking badges. You want us to respect them motherfuckers. Now, the good ones, they was respectable. I even talked to them. They was like, we appreciate you understanding our job. Because I said, man, I know it's hard out here. Y'all dealing with crazy people all day because they was wondering why the hell I was so chill and chillax. And that was back then when my own family was siding with some Asian motherfucker to try to get me in trouble, and they called the cops on me. I'm like, Mama, you called the cops on me, you don't even know what he did. I was defending myself. And that's when all 7 of those jury people decided to agree with me and they dismissed the case. And you can go look this shit up. But anyways, back to the trafficking motherfuckers. So them niggas came around the corner and they were, and it's homeless people that's like that sometimes that be part of the gang stalking, but I can handle them motherfuckers too. But anyways, them niggas came in the car. They was in a black Malibu or Impala. It looked like an Impala. I cannot remember, but it's the body style. If I see it, I can know what car it was. I'm gonna go take a look. But it was black and it was shiny and it was brand new. But they had one passenger side mirror knocked off, and they saw me fall already when I came out. It's like they had to have been watching me since I came out of the apartment. And there's this nigga that have a son, and he was the last motherfucker that was going down the elevator that I went down the elevator with him to come outside. And part of that was an orchestration. They were leading me out here. But everything is going to come full circle because when motherfuckers fuck with me, all of a sudden your shit get exposed. All of it. Because you've been in my energy too fucking up and playing around too much. So anyways, and that's what happened when you come. So be in my energy. It's going to get revealed spiritually. I'm going to know what's up. And I'm going to go into some other videos and explain how I know this. And why I know this is correct. What I'm saying about if you fucking with my energy, I'm going to know who the fuck you are. I'll talk about that another time. Anyways, they came around the corner. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. They had a towel in the back as well on the floor. And the towel also had that white powdery stuff. I'm like, what is this? What is the irony that they have that same powdery looking stuff in their back seat? And it looked exactly the same. The sprinkle, it was the texture of it. I could see the texture of it. And it looked the exact same that was sprinkled. And like, I was mad as hell. You come turn around like, who the fuck threw this shit on my baby stroller? Anyways, let me make sure still. I'm going to make it quick and sum it up. I refused to go at them. It instantly set them off. They got mad as hell. They act like they had a personal investment and interest, I should say, a personal in the Securitas card. The personal Securitas. Anyways, I used to work for Securitas as security. That's another nugget. But anyways, please, can I have a few more minutes? This motherfucker told us something that's so fucking ridiculous. Well, take his bitch ass on then, motherfucker. Well, anyways, back to what I was talking about. I'm talking about some real shit here about what happened. You came over here and said you're gonna leave me. I'm talking about something important here.
You fuck yourself.
You fuck yourself, nigga. This is some real shit. And you probably one of them motherfuckers. That's what I'm talking about, because you always doing that shit.
Well, nigga, you ain't gonna have me sitting here like a fuck.
This is important. I'm tired of going through shit with motherfuckers like that. That they be sending motherfuckers like that my way. They'll come to help, but then they start chaos and trouble. He says some shit. Take your motherfucking ass on. Bubba Riley. Motherfucker, I ain't scared of you. That's what I'm saying. He told me something. I'm gonna leave because you got me sitting out here. Bitch, I'm the one who fucking live here, not you. Take your ass home. I'm talking about something real important. He want to rush so he can probably have sex or get some pussy. Take your ass on, nigga. This is the last time. Take your motherfucking ass on and don't come back. And I'm going to know if you sent somebody in my direction. They're going to have your energy. Just like my baby dad, somebody he sent to me had his energy imprint in their aura. And I didn't fuck with them. And guess what? They suddenly wasn't on bus 52 route no more. Now, my baby dad, he got his bitch ass stuck and he's struggling in California. He chose to go to California where he thought was going to be a success. All that shit fell through. All of it. And every single time he came back in my life trying to start some shit, he was talking to my sister. They had each other numbered. I don't know what the fuck they was doing, but I didn't care about the nigga no more, so I didn't care. And then all of a sudden, my sister hella upset and mad about what happened. That was the devil right there that trying to come through that nigga, trying to give that negative energy. I'm over. You sitting in the motherfucking car, Bubba Riley. What the fuck you think? You gonna be all right? I'm the one standing out here in the rain trying to tell a story about what the fuck happened. This ain't the first time. Now carry your ass on. Don't fucking come back. Leave me alone. Anyways, because you gonna see this video. I'm gonna post it soon. So I'm making a video. I'm almost done. And he came and interrupted me. I remember what I was talking about. That's how I know what I was saying. Plus, he had some baby diapers in the back of the car that he just took with him. And he did the same thing in Christmas when he went to Pastor Manyweather or whatever the man's name is. And said that's his pastor. He did some shit and before. This is not the first time. That's why I said you could take your ass on. You already had your little motherfucking faggot ass son come out here. And no disrespect to the LGBT community, because my motherfucking ass was in the LGBT community as well. And the thing is, we got motherfucking gay ass niggas out here that's hating on a real female, a real woman, and they mad because of that shit. Just because of that, on top of being jealous about that shit, because they want to go fuck niggas and be a female too. But don't be mad at me. And Bubba Riley's mad at me because I asked him if he was gay one time straight up, because he was smelling stank as fuck around me. I'm like, nigga, you don't smell that, you musty, and you was smelling like you. He made fun of me telling him that he smelled like pee. I'm trying to help you out by being honest. You're telling me I smell good, but I'm not gonna lie to you. And then when a man come around, he went to spray some cologne on him. He was about to turn around and talk to him. Then he sprayed some cologne on him real quick and then went to go talk to the man. But he wouldn't do that for me. He did it after the fact. He wouldn't even put it on his body. What he did, he just sprayed it in the car. So that was kind of sus. And before that situation happened right there, it just came to me that he might be one of the motherfuckers that was sent, because he come into my life and then he leave. He do the same thing, and he don't leave on a good note. He starts some shit just so he can leave to start to make trauma, like abandoning or doing some shit like that. I'm not playing around with motherfuckers like that. That's why I say you could carry your ass on. He helped me out. He was a very helpful man. He got me a new battery in my car. He done things to help me out. I'll list those things in another video. I'm not trying to get distracted here. But he did fucked up shit afterwards. And that's why at one point I was afraid to accept help from certain people. Because now there's people that's coming to try to fucking help me that feel guilty as fuck because they was in on the shit. Now all of a sudden they trying to offer me help when I don't need it like that no more. But when I needed it, they fucking bailed out. They didn't give a damn. And I have a son, and they know I have my son. They was hoping and waiting for me to fail. They didn't want me to make it. So anyways, if this thing is still recording, thank God Almighty that it is. These motherfucking niggas came and showed up at the same Denny's. They was there. They had that powder stuff in the back of their car, the same powder stuff that was put on the stroller when I was working in this motherfucker. And this ain't no regular Denny's because they be having all kind of motherfuckers working up in there, even gangster ass niggas that just working there 1 week and then they gone wearing medallions, sneaking they Mexican people in there in front of everybody else and then telling us we gonna be all right. Nigga, that's a easy way to get your head blown off. Like, you ain't finna fuck. Like, it'll be stupid if somebody did that, but y'all just need to watch how you treat motherfuckers. Anyways, they was coming to do some trafficking anyways. I know that they were in on the shit now because it's clear, because they was so hard trying to get me into the hospital. I'm like, I know but why would I need to go to the hospital if I just fell outside and I'm okay? But they was trying to force me. They said, you want to go? And then they was mad. They said, okay, well, if you don't want to go, they took a picture of me. I said that my name was Yara. They took a picture of me. And then all of a sudden, some random ass woman not long later came and said, now I called the cops to get you in more trouble than you can get out of. And the cops was right around the corner at that Baptist church that's over there. They always be hanging out. You know how they got their little spots they can chill at, like some offices or something. And then one of the officers got so mad because I didn't make it easy for them to take my kid from me that night. Now when I get my son back, he's covering his ears like this sometimes. I don't know what the fuck them motherfuckers did to my son, but he's gonna be okay. That's what and then they were trying to protect the woman. My public defender, she acting like she want to think that I'm insane. She said, well, they did say that you were crazy. So basically, she didn't say those words, but so in so many words, basically she was saying these motherfuckers, they professionals, and they said that she was crazy. So it's possible that you just thought that she said that, but she didn't really say that though. Nigga, I know what the fuck I heard, and I know the difference between the delusions that I was having and the reality of what was going on. This white dude that was stealing with that black man in Safeway, he walked around with him, I guess, to deter, or he was trying to get some of the money because he said he had $2,000 worth of food stamps. But I be watching everybody now because of the shit that happened. I put it together after some time. I said, one thing they forgot is that I have one killer ass memory. I might not remember at that exact moment, but later on some stuff gonna trigger it. And then I'm gonna start all of a sudden be like, so that's why that shit happened that night. And it's in connection with this stuff that happened that other night. And then, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. But then shortly after, they took a picture of me and they said something about mama gonna be mad. And I was like, who's mama? Where they talk about my passed away mother? Because why would mama have something to do with this? They was gang stalking like a motherfucker, and then this random ass hoe, this Hispanic bitch, gonna bring her motherfucking ass on the corner and tell them, and now I got you in more trouble than you can get out. Now I called the cops to get you in more trouble than you can get out of. And she was looking like a witch. It's like her manifestation on her face. She was looking like a old motherfucking witch bitch, like a decrepit mother. It was like the aura of her face. She had long black hair, and it's like the aura of her face was like it was demonic. Like her face was almost shifting. But I ain't that aside. Fuck that spiritual shit part about that. The fact that this motherfucker even did that. And I ain't talk about you. Just going to do your job, SpongeBob. And you see how that man wearing a SpongeBob jacket? The dudes that's trying so hard, that's gays, some gay ass niggas. Him and his husband. They was trying so hard to try to get us to come have dinner, and he loved it. He's SpongeBob, it was his favorite, and he would do the SpongeBob laugh for my son. So I keep stuff like that and note, like, he might not have nothing necessarily to do with the gang stalking, but because I keep mental note of certain stuff that triggers, like, that feel like that's something that I need to take a mental note of and keep in mind. Like, that's how I don't freak out. I'd be like, okay, there's something particular about this situation right here, right now, but I don't say nothing about it. I just keep on going about my business. And it's funny because I noticed that there was people that was writing little messages on the trash cans, and they knew the route of where I was going to go. And when I hear people like him listening to what I'm saying, and they be listening, they like stop, and then they trying to hear, I know that they're not just being nosy. Sometimes I feel like that it's because they know, like, this bitch is catching on to what the fuck is going on type of shit. And I was minding my business for the longest, and I noticed how some of this stuff has been happening for a long time. That's why it was kind of suspicious one time when I was in the kitchen when my mom and grandma was still alive at that time. I was gonna tell them. I spoke it out of my mouth and said, one day I'm gonna go and tell my mom. And I said it on purpose while my dad was downstairs. He was rummaging through some things, and then all of a sudden when he heard me say that, he stopped, like, what? Like it caught his attention. So that's why at one point I didn't trust my dad, my stepdad, but he's my dad. He's been there since I was 4 or 5 years old. And it's really important because it's like part of me feel like that's a beautiful thing. Like I honor my stepdad, and I say my stepdad so you know he's not my biological dad, so you can understand why I might have thought maybe because even somebody biological dad has done this type of shit, has orchestrated some shit like this. And my dad was giving off signs. Like one time he was upset with me just because I tried to do a helpful thing and buy a $800 mattress for my grandma because she was complaining about how the bed was not comfortable and it was hurting her. So I wanted her to be happy and safe. I mean, happy and comfortable. So I went and spent some of the money that I made so that it can save my parents money and go get a bed for my grandma. And then my uncle, one of her sons, decided to get a good bed frame that can lift the bed up and down. And so my grandma was living in luxury at the time. I feel sad because it's almost like before my grandma's death, she was dethroned at one point. And I say that because it's like she was sleeping in the upstairs bedroom. And then that was a whole nother story. But I remember a tarot reader had told me my family was abusing my grandma at one point. And here's the sheriff right here, but they don't even be fucking with me no more. Only one time the Hillsborough police fuck with me when I went to my mom, well, it used to be my mom's house, it's my dad's house now. Well, it was probably his house in the first place. What used to be her house, one time I told my sister I was coming to drop my son off so I could go work. All of a sudden the police was backed up in that corner, and the energy felt like they did that to fuck with me mentally. But they don't fuck with me too much. And the reason why I'm careful, because this dude, Bubba Riley, he's been saying some particular things. And I already heard from another Mason dude that he claimed to be a Mason. I don't think he had the pull that the real Masons have when they be in good. He probably was a Prince Hall Mason, because you know how niggas do business. Not all niggas are unprofessional, but it's some niggas that I know their business is ghetto compared to like white people business, but they want to, and then they'll talk shit about a white person, and then but they'll treat the white people better at their business than they would a black person, and they'll favor the white person, but they'll call them honkies and make fun of the white people. But when the white people come to their business, they treat them better than they treat another black person who comes to that business. That's why I don't really fuck with too many people, especially niggas. I don't really deal with a lot of black people. But the thing is, I have a heart for black women, especially because I see how they're trying to be beaten down, and not them trying to be, but how the world is trying, like men in the world and other people, like they want to put the black woman down so low. And then you got black niggas, men, talking about how it's so hard for the black man. I'm like, nigga, it's hard out here for the black woman too. But even if it's hard, we still keep pushing and moving forward. And here my baby daddy is talking about it's too much work for him to take his son. But you want to talk about single mother stuff though. And you part of the pandemic of that situation. Take care of your motherfucking gang stalking ass on. And how I know he was gang stalking? Because the same shit was happening to him that happened to me when he told me the reason why he left was because people was looking at his window where he was, and people were following him. If that don't sound like no bullshit, how all of a sudden people was in your window, but he knew when he knew that my mom died, and he told me she died after I already got the news. I was like, how does he know? But he ain't talking to me. And then I found out him and my sister was talking, the same sister who went to go tell my parents on me so that they could call the cops on me to put me in jail so they can be on this. I think they made some sort of deal with Phong Phuc Thong Nguyen, which was the Vietnamese dude I married in the past, and he wanted to get his green card, but I wanted a divorce from him because I saw how he was trying to set shit up, and it was business in the beginning anyways. But the reason why everything fell through and nothing just happened is because it was about to be exposed how there was some people working on the inside, working with some organized criminals, and these motherfuckers probably was trying to have me killed. They was going through gangsters that I used to hang out with, some Crips. All of a sudden, those Crips set me up, and they was working with Bloods. Then they gonna call me on the phone and tell me it was oh yeah, about $3,400. They knew they had stole that money from me, but it was my fault because I didn't take it back to the ATM, I was knocked out when I was staying in the house. Marcus was his name, and they know I was looking for that man at one point, and then all of a sudden Stewart was telling me that He didn't, and I'm starting to put some stuff together here because I was invited randomly to be a model at a fashion show. And I found that kind of odd. So whatever you guys think you're trying to orchestrate is not going to work because I'm going to see it. I want to already know what the fuck you're up to before it even happens, before it even get to complete. Because I'm on to how certain energies are intertwined with other people. And that's how I pick up on it. That's how I decided to ask one of my old homegirls, did she know a man that I met in a completely different area? And it turned out to be her uncle. And then you find out, like, this goes back into what I was saying about don't be surprised if a motherfucker in your life, because all of a sudden certain people just started calling me again. And with this nigga who had an attitude and took off, I didn't talk to this woman, a woman that I had a gay relationship with. Not a relationship, me and her used to, period, once in a while, we messed around. And we was partying, but she was just stupid and doing ignorant shit and she was doing things that was making her be a liability. So I even understood why she probably didn't have a man and why her baby dad even left her for another girl that was younger that he could control, because that bitch was just out of control. She was just crazy. She thinks that she thinks that she's more of a man than a man. And sometimes those kind of women get on my nerves. But because I'm like, baby, you a woman, okay? But and they be trying to act like they got a dick and everything. Girl, please. Anyways, not trying to put y'all down, but like, sometimes people just be doing too much. But this situation that happened right now, and this nigga don't even know what I was talking about. Bubba Riley, he don't even know what the fuck I was talking about, and he mad because I'm making a video. He's mad because he thinks that he said it himself that one day he think I might be famous and all this. And you know how niggas get when they jealous. I'm doing what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. That's why I told you to stay your motherfucking ass at home. That's why I called you a motherfucker. You can have somebody try to come and shoot me and kill me. That shit gonna bounce back on your ass like it did before when your bowels got twisted up in your stomach. And you came coming back to me asking me for forgiveness, nigga. Shit. Asking me for forgiveness. I already knew that shit was gonna happen. I even said I wouldn't be surprised if his own son came and put some shit on him. Look, what half-breed ass nigga talking shit about me, talking so I put a spell on that man. And ain't no motherfucking spell. Good vagina is just good vagina. If a nigga get hooked, that's on him. Niggas is easy anyways. That's why I be like, go on and get that other vagina that's out there. I try to avoid saying the P word. So I'm not trying to be too vulgar now. Excuse me for the other I was about to say the vulgarity. I made up my own word. The vulgarity of how I was already being. But I was just so passionate because I know what the fuck I went through. Ain't nobody gonna be able to take that experience away from me. And it actually strengthened me. They was trying to tear me down, bro. And I'm not surprised if anybody in my family has something to do with it. I think that's it for now. This is good for now. But they got rid of that security officer. And how I know it was for sure, because even another woman, when she heard my story, and she's an attorney that was helping me with something else, she the one who told me the situation I was running from, I was about to be trafficked. And then all of a sudden, when this trafficking situation was happening, guess what? All kind of motherfuckers out of the woodworks was coming and telling me all of a sudden about trafficking. All of a sudden, some random ass white lady was coming up to me talking about she was being trafficked. But it was like, the way she said it, she was warning me about being trafficked. And at the same time, she was on the inside because she knew some stuff about it. And I feel like there were some people that was working with these motherfuckers, but saw that I really didn't deserve it. Some of them kind of gave me clues. Like the dude that, I would say, like, I'm just walking at night like this because I'm homeless and I didn't trust my motherfucking family, but I was willing to fight for my son because I was going to protect him at any cost. And then I'm walking, and all of a sudden, they just pop out and all of a sudden walking with me. Nigga, I had that nigga phone number, and I think it might be still in my text now number account. It's cold in the motherfucker out here. I got a jacket on, but it's raining. I'm wet. My fingers are cold right now, but I'm okay. I just needed to talk about this. Like, I know that I was being gangsta, and I'm not. The timing of some of the conversations of my dad and my sister, and they're the main two that contact me together around a certain time. But I remember my dad said it was the Holy Spirit that told him that I was gonna go to Alabama, but I was like, how did you know that I was I didn't even, it wasn't set in stone that I was gonna go to Alabama. But all of a sudden he sent me something on my phone. I'm thinking that it could have been the Holy Spirit. So one day I felt bad about accusing my dad in my mind that he might have had something to do or known something about that situation happening. And he said, don't go to no parties. And all of a sudden, when we got to Alabama, we was in that house with David Lofton, the Mason dude that was there, he was saying, all of a sudden, we were listening to music, and the song that came on was Beyonce's song called Party. And even though that's a jamming song, but to me, that was my cue to get the fuck out of there. And the way they started behaving, it let me know for sure that I needed to get the hell out of there. And that's what I did. I actually tried to do it politely by leaving that man's stuff behind. I could have just took off. But what I did was take his stuff. But the only thing is I forgot his toolbox. And that was, I feel like that was part of his karma. Because what he was going to do was work on some cars while he was down there in Alabama. But he wanted my keys so bad, and he wanted to leave me behind with these people I didn't know. I didn't feel comfortable with that. And he kept begging me for my keys. It's like these people, they don't just take it from you in the beginning. They don't take it. They try to get you to comply and work with them first. If that doesn't work, then that's when they work by force. That's why it was interesting that the serial number on that video that the Kansas police sent me, the first part of the serial number was 144. And for whatever reason, one of my attorneys, she wanted to have the video, and that was kind of suspicious. But there's some other stuff she said was suspicious too. Not the DHS case attorney, but the attorney situation with the excuse me, with what's her name at MPD law. Well, she was helping me with a denial when I went to get fingerprinted after I was already working in a care facility. The people were saying that all of a sudden I need to go have fingerprints. When at first, George Clark, he told me I didn't need fingerprints. But and this happened at another job at Wells Fargo when I worked as a phone banker. All of a sudden, things was going great. When it was a man that was in charge, he was working there. I got the job. It was going well. All of a sudden, they brought in these random white women that always fucked some shit up where I got fired or I had to be let go because of Lindsay Rudolph at Wells Fargo. They didn't want to hire me back there again because they said I owed money because she went into the system and did some shit to overpay me. And then I got in trouble for it. That was crazy. So they fired my ass. And and every time I tried to apply, they didn't let me in. And I know it was because of that situation that I got more money out of them than I was supposed to. Well, I feel like I was supposed to because that's why it happened. Like, just like the situation I'm going through, it was supposed to happen because it was supposed to be my job for me to expose how these motherfuckers work when the trafficking happens. They don't just have this black market shit happening where kids just randomly get stolen and all of a sudden I got a flash of when Kyle and Jay, them was my motherfuckers, because when I was watching I was pregnant around the same time she was pregnant, and I was going through some things with my family, and they watching them with their happy pregnancy, it encouraged me, as well as not the Beaston fam, but it's they had their channel was called Okie Dokie. It was these blonde people that just was like some sweethearts. They seemed like the most happiest sweethearts ever. But you got to be careful because sometimes people that seems like that, they be doing some witchcraft, like some dark stuff. But I don't think that family, they feel that woman, she's so sweet. I love their children, their son, all that. They family encouraged me. Okie Dokie, man. I love that family. But and there's some other families I love as well, but those are the families I was watching at the time when I was pregnant. And I remember at times I had got teary-eyed because I was wishing for something like that as well for me and my kid. So, but I still gonna have fun with my son, God willing, if he allow me to live long enough. I'm gonna have just as much fun as Okie Dokie had with their kids. And this other family that adopted a little black girl, at least on camera, they treat that little black girl so good. I'm proud of them. I saw some black something black in the sky all of a sudden. But yeah, and then all of a sudden when it's like I'll talk about something like that in the future. I saw something like it could have been a portal. It was something black there. It could have been a spirit, because spirits can be all shapes and sizes. They can make themselves appear as a spaceship. But that's crazy. But because it gave me a flashback of some stuff that happened. Me and my brothers had encountered some things in the past, but that's not what this video is about. I've always been going through supernatural shit since I was a little kid. But some of this stuff that's going on right now is just ridiculous. Like some of the stuff that these people is doing is ridiculous. And it's like nothing can stop me. Nothing that these people are doing has been able to stop me. And I feel like that's because God want me to do this job. And it's to expose these gang stalking, sex trafficking, child trafficking motherfuckers that want to make a black market and traffic children doing sacrifices and different rituals. Just like I saw this little boy that the police want them help looking for a black kid all of a sudden. It's about time because I mostly only seen them wanting help to find missing white people or missing Asian people. About time once in a while I finally see them, the Portland police wanting help to find a black kid, because I'm like, I know that black kids must be going missing too then, because some of these black people, they don't give a fuck about their kids. They don't. And it's sad. And I know it's true because the people in DHS was telling me it's been 20 years. That was the most heartbreaking thing I heard at that time. I'm like, how many children? How many decades went by? 2 decades went by of them seeing most of the cases, at least, if not all of them, not perform the way I performed to show that they cared about their child. And then here, the way the abuse I encountered growing up, when my parents were still more mentally ill than they had grown out of by the grace of God, or emotional illness, the emotional, they say emotional intelligence. I don't know what to call I don't want to call it emotional stupidity, but I should have been taken away from my mom and my dad, aka stepdad, but they forced us they said, this is your dad. My spirit didn't take to my dad when I was a little kid, but my mom forced me to. And he never sexually abused me or anything, so I appreciate him for that. But he was mean as hell though. And I could tell that even one of my uncles said he could tell, he knew the difference that me and another brother were being treated than the children that my stepdad had. So one of my uncles, he's gone now though, but it seemed like some of the people, there was just some strange things behind the deaths in the family. And that's another way you could tell. And I said, somebody in this family, just like on a tarot reading, it says somebody, they're hiding a death from you. It sure enough. And that was a general reading that I picked up. I said, somebody hiding a death, and I'm gonna find out who it is. Then my uncle, one of my uncles, the one that's living, he said, who told you? How do you know? He was like, well, how did that conversation come about where it sparked? It just slipped out of my sister's mouth. That's how God worked. Because it was the sister who betrayed me a couple times. I didn't finish that story, but she had betrayed me for my ex-husband that time. And so I know when she had my baby dad's number, that already looked suspicious. She might not have did nothing with him. And even if she did, I still love my sister. I even told my baby dad that if my sister, I love my family enough that so much to the point, even though they did that stuff, I actually still love them and care for them. They don't like to talk about shit, and I feel like the reason why, because they know they was wrong for some of the shit, and they're also not to talk bad, but I told people about the truth about the stuff that happened in my family. It's documented. So even if somebody did something to me at any given time, I feel like at that time my work was done. Because I already was given a chance to come back to this earth. I didn't want to come back to this motherfucker. From what I remember, for what I recall, I died in my sleep. I went to this white elevator and I was walking forward, but all of a sudden the floor was going back and I was still trying to walk forward to it because I wanted to go. And it wouldn't let me. And that's how I know when people be talking some weird God, I be looking at them motherfuckers like, we might have God in us and we can have God tendencies, but I don't think that we are the God. And I feel like God is particles, because particles, and it's always white cars that look like that, that be riding around, I'd be suspicious about those type of cars because they've always been white vehicles. But anyways, I will talk about the particles thing later on, about how I like finding that out in science is what made me have more of a belief, a stronger belief in God, because I was starting to doubt him at one point, and I got closer to God. And I remember somebody was saying on a video, I can't remember if it was Life Coach Chris or Empress Ari, and I just found Empress Ari, I think her name is. It was a black lady. She was saying something about um them hating you because you're light, or well, anyways, I've kind of forgot, but I'll get back. She said it in the video. I might make a video about that, referencing this. But anyways, okay, good. It's still going. See, that's God right there, because they used to be turning that stuff off, man. They was fucking with me too bad. I apologize for the curse word, because I know some of y'all Christians out there, y'all so holy that you can't handle hearing somebody say a curse word, even though they ain't trying to use it in a derogatory manner. They be like, oh, she ain't a God because how she talking. Well, I asked God to help me on that. I used to not curse, and there's people that be around me, they know it's not my style to curse, but sometimes when I get in a certain mode, or I'm in my kind of OG gangster mode, that's just kind of how I talk. And I feel like I'm going to do that if I want to, unless God convict me enough where I start slowly doing it. I've been cutting down on it. But here and there, I've made videos at times where I was heated, so it might seem like I curse a lot, but I'm actually a peaceful person. I don't bother people. I mind my business unless you come in my energy fucking with me, and I sense that shit and I'm getting tired of it, so I give you a little bit of feedback from the energy I was receiving from you. But nowadays, what I do is when I'm sensing some type of energy, what I do is I walk away. I leave that person. And you see that car that looks like that right there? There's a Jeep. You can't really see it, but it's like a Jeep Cherokee. It's the Mason dude. He bought shitty cars like that, and he was riding around doing shitty things all the time. I don't think that's him, but it looks like that. It looks bigger in the picture than it does in person. It's not really that big, but I zoomed up to it. But anyways, he was buying used cars, and I've noticed that people were buying used cars doing dirt. There was these Asian dudes that came to Dawson Park, and I know they were selling some drugs. So they was dressed up way too good, and in the hood with niggas. and then on top of that, they were well dressed, but they were in raggedy ass cars that had no license plate and no tag on the back at all. Period. Pay attention to cars like that. Not all of them. Sometimes the windows is tinted and you can't really see the permit. But I noticed that there were some cars like that driving around, so pay attention to those, because I'm saying that for a reason. Those are some of the people that's actually participating. Not all of them. Energetically, some of you guys will be able to tell. You can be like, there's something, you'll pick up on the vibe. Since y'all knew things is good vibes only, people seem to have caught on to vibes. So they know, obviously, you can energetically feel something's not right. And me following that feeling in the past and not following that feeling in the past, that intuitive little gesture, that gut feeling, it cost a lot. And look, now they leaving. But I remember the same thing. See, there's no license plate on that car. And I mean, there's no license plate and there's no trip permit. Some people are operating in the private and they know about that stuff. But some of those people are doing dirt out here in these streets. And I remember when James C. Lovett had told me, some people, he warned me about people fucking with people sometime when they tried to exit like the commercial status of being a U.S. citizen. And I was looking into that stuff, and even Tazadak bitch ass one time was mad as hell. He was like, I asked him a question. I think he couldn't even answer it. One, he couldn't answer it. Two, his motherfucking ass was mad because I was a woman and I was seeming like I was too intelligent, and he ain't like that. And he was one of them. He kind of reminded me of one of the misogynistic motherfuckers. He was nice at first, but he reminded me of one of those, like I thought he was better than that. I thought he had the spirit of God on his life. But there's some of these motherfuckers, they be cloaking their energy. That's all I'm going to say. He even said, I read it very well through about one of his friends. I'll talk about that in another video. I'm just saying, like, some of these motherfuckers out here, we ain't that crazy, y'all. That's why we stick to ourselves. We know more shit than y'all be thinking, and y'all be talking shit about us because we talking proper. Oh, what they call us white niggas. Y'all be making fun of us, be trying to attack us, but then you want to be like us at the same fucking time, though. You hating ass motherfuckers, hating ass niggas. It was white and black people doing that, and you know it's dumb when white people being a hater, because they supposed to be at the top of the world, ain't they? And I said it like that on purpose. They supposed to be on top. Why they worrying about what the fuck a nigga doing? All up in our business. I'm gonna ignore that nigga just like he ignored me, because I cut one of my customers off because I know they one of them gang stalking motherfuckers, and plus they from Hollywood, and it's a gay marriage. It's just certain things just tell on themselves. Certain things just kind of expose motherfuckers. And people be like, well, what the gay marriage got to do with it? Well, it got a lot to do with it, because when, like, some people, he said they're just born that way. I asked him, he said, so you never been molested? He said he'd been molested, but it sounded like he enjoyed it. So I get it. Maybe some kids, when they get molested or whatever, they might like it or whatever, but I don't know if that's true. That just seems weird, because there's some horror stories that people have told me, and people were actually perverted and jacking off and happy about this shit. Like, there's some sick, twisted people in this world. But anyways, I told y'all what happened. That was just part of the story. I couldn't tell the DHS people that. That's why I knew even their organization was kind of full of shit. Because when I'm telling you motherfuckers was following me, they didn't go investigate to find out if I was telling the truth. In fact, I feel like they was trying to protect the woman that said, and now I caught what? Somebody tried to poison your baby? And now I called the cops on you to get you in more trouble than you can get out of. That's what she was doing. I'm like, bitch. And then the officers were struggling to get my ass in the car, because I wasn't finna just give my baby up. The only thing that made me let go was when I heard a woman say, stop, you're hurting him. When I heard one of those female officers say that, I knew that they weren't after my son, they were trying to get me. They probably was after him, trying to take him from me too, to fuck with me. But a guy helped me stay strong through that process, and I did very well. So thank you. I'm going to say thank you, Jesus, just to piss off some of the people that be like, oh, Jesus isn't real. Or Jesus, the way you guys talk about it in the Christian Bible, that's not, he was just a messenger. Well, it seemed like at times when I needed God and I prayed to Jesus and I said the mighty name of Jesus, stuff was working. Shoot, I'm like, I don't know. I'm going off my own experience. F y'all. But, so, yeah, I think that's all I had to say. Sorry it took a little bit too long talking, y'all. And I just got so passionate. And then this nigga want to get mad. You making me think you one of them motherfuckers. Yo old ass. And tell something, you got me sitting out here waiting. I'm going to talk about that some other time. This nigga pissed. You could have, all he had to do was come tell me he wanted to go inside. Or he was tired of sitting in his car. He let his car run all the time, talking about his gas last in his Cadillac, and there's no issue. It's wet out here. Okay, it's starting to stop raining now. Water is getting all on me, but I don't care about it. Water ain't gonna kill me. I'm one of those black ladies, those African American women who don't mind my hair getting wet, real or fake, because I'm not materialistic like that. The only thing I care about that's materialistic is a Ferrari F8. I saw that new mother. Oh man, I can't wait till I get a chance to ride one of them. But anyways, God is still good, and he protected me through that whole situation and my son. And when I was in that hospital, that they sent me from the hospital, when I woke up, I was okay. There was like voices, but it's like the voices calmed down after I went through some radiation with the CT scan. So I was wondering if had somebody at some point implanted some sort of electrical device that could respond to the active denial system, or there's electronic shit out there. I kind of feel like that might be part of the reason why I'm not working at a place blank stem. I'm not going to say the first part of the company name, but I feel like that might be also why. Because the lady was spiritual, and how I know is because 2 times I seen where all of a sudden randomly it's like I had a vision with my eyes open of of two different women I remember just staring at me like they were watching me in the spirit realm, and I saw their face. And I was like, why am I seeing that? And then there was just like some particular things that happened, but that's not what happened in this case. But the Hispanic woman, I don't know if she was connected to Jose Petronilo Sanchez Cruz, the dude that I was dating at one point. Like, to the daughters, maybe they paid to come fuck with me because they think I had their dad job fucked up, but it was a spiritual thing that happened. It was a spiritual reason. Hold on, I'm checking. Hi, Bubba. How are you, honey? Mama's here. How are you, cutie? I'll never leave you. Don't worry, okay? Okay? Unless, of course, we're at daycare or something. We're gonna go upstairs. All right, Papa? You okay? Yay, poo-poo. Yeah, he loves that song. I love your smile. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just standing right out here. Okay, y'all, so I'm gonna just go ahead and end this because I'm gonna take care of my son and get him all settled. It's all wet and cold. And then this whole time, these people in this white Kia Soul, and might I add, because all of a sudden I remember Bubba Riley told me, well, anyways, he mentioned something about a Kia Soul, and so did my baby dad. And all of a sudden, when I came here and parked here, this whole time they're just sitting here with their lights on, with some traveling bag on the top of their car. Not saying that they're suspicious, well, I am saying that they're suspicious, but what I'm saying, and then there's this officer that just drove by right here. He sped like a motherfucker when I put the sign. But anyways, I was taking a video of that, because that's the kind of stuff that was happening at one point. Like, randomly, a white Priz just showed up. Like, I was just walking back when they was harassing more heavy. They just showed up and was like, excuse me, can you help me? Or like, they asked me if I needed help. Oh no, they said something about if I was okay or if I needed help with something. And usually when they asked me that, I just got away from them, because that's what the last black man was doing. But I think they got smart. That time it might have been a white or an Asian person. But they were wearing a white shirt too, though. And I just kind of glanced back, and I was like, what's with these white cars that follow me? And they asked me if I need help or if I'm okay. And it was only white cars, so that was suspicious to me. I was like, and then they had this crazy car show that happened where cars were just going crazy one time. There was a lot of gang stalking, and I feel like it wasn't just me who was being gang stalked in the city, but some of the things that spiritual advisor has spoke about in some of her readings back in 2022, it manifested toward later on, and I experienced some of the things that were happening at 2023. And not 20, yeah, all of 2023 and part of 2022 after her readings. Like, even just a reading about somebody passed away 2 weeks later my grandma passed away, and then it was saying like, baby, you got a gift, and there's some things you're supposed to do here in the world. You special, you're different. And I felt like that reading was my grandma's spirit in the future speaking to me. Like, it was a message from her higher self, or from God. But I can't, in the number 15, she told me she was seeing the number 15, and that number guided me in different ways at times. And I felt like every time I saw spiritual things that was going on, that there was little signs that was letting me know I was protected and I was okay in the midst of me seeing what was going on around me. And none of these people that were working professionals, these judges, these attorneys, and these police officers, none of them had the intelligence to see what the fuck was going on. Or if they did, they might have did something to help and be nice. But the officers, they were being jerks because they was upset that I was too strong. But the thing is, God, I feel like God gives me some sort of strength. And I'm not going to go, I'm going to leave, because those people I feel like they're watching and they're waiting for a purpose. They're informants. So anyways, I noticed how my dad have been trying hard. It's just some things that I'm noticing, and it's really starting to stick out and stand out to me in my mind now. And I just take mental notes. I don't freak out. I'll be like, I take a note. Like, that look a certain way, but I'm not going to say that that's what it is unless I have more physical and spiritual proof that that's what it is. Because I know I'm not perfect. I'm not right all the time. That's why I depend on God. So I feel like that's it for now, at least to tell you guys. But now I know for a fact that I was really being gang stalked and people were harassing me spiritually and physically. And I told them that. But you know, when they try to mark you as crazy, these motherfuckers ain't even spiritually inclined and they're working in the justice system. If they had people like myself and other people around the world who are awake, we are the type of people, like I used to want to be a detective. I would have been, I feel like the way God has things set up where people can tap in spiritually, we could go back and solve a case that's 50 years old and not have been there and get, and even just with the few pieces of evidence find out if and get like intuitive messages and spiritual guidance and messages that some of the people were even paid to participate in covering up the, I'm talking about the professionals such as the medical examiners and what was that else that got revealed to me spiritually, that autopsy people were even being paid off in one or some or a few cases in the world where it probably was more than that, but there was people that were there was an autopsy that was, yeah. 577 GOV. I don't know. Maybe he was checking to see if I was okay. But he was like, oh, okay. He didn't say anything though. He saw I was recording or whatever. I don't know. He came from over there, but people, you see, I don't be afraid. I just stand there because I energetically feel if something is wrong or if I need to get the fuck out of there or not. I know that this motherfucker just doing some stupid shit. He want to be with his mama. Okay, Papa, don't worry. But anyways, y'all, there was all kind of people fucking with me, and I have a child. And I tried telling people about some of the stuff that was going on. And get this, some people that I didn't know already knew about what was going on when they came and told me what was going on. Okay, I'm gonna tend to my son now, guys. So this did go quite long, so let me go ahead and end it here. Just be careful out there and know that you're not crazy about some of the things that happened to you that were spiritually wrong, that happened to you, and then people came to mess up your reputation and make you look as if you're crazy. So when you expose them for the truth about what's really going on, nobody may not believe you unless they're wise enough to see through the bullshit and know what's really going on.